Ezekiel 16. Again, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, make known to Jerusalem her abominations, and say, Thus said the Master Yahweh to Jerusalem, Your origin and your birth are from the land of Canaan. Your father was an Amorite, and your mother a Hittite. As for your birth, on the day you were born, your navel cord was not cut, nor were you washed in water for cleansing, and you were not rubbed with salt at all, nor wrapped in cloth at all. No eye felt sorry for you, to do any of these for you, to have compassion on you, but you were thrown into the open field to the loathing of your life on the day you were born. Then I passed by you and saw you trampled down in your own blood. And I said to you, in your blood, live. And I said to you, in your blood, live. I have let you grow like a plant in the field, and you are grown, and you are great, and you come in the finest ornaments. Breasts were formed, your hair grew, and you were naked and bare. Again, I passed by you and looked upon you and saw that your time was the time of carnal love. And I spread the corner of my garment over you and covered your nakedness. And I swore an oath to you and entered into covenant with you. And you became mine, declares the Master Yahweh. And I washed you in water, and I washed off your blood, and I anointed you with oil, and I dressed you in embroidered work, and gave you sandals of leather, and I wrapped you in fine linen and covered you with silk. And I adorned you with ornaments, and I put bracelets on your wrists and a chain on your neck, and I put a ring on your nose, and earrings in your ears, and a crown of adorning on your head. Thus you were adorned with gold and silver, and your dress was of fine linen and silk and embroidered cloth. You ate fine flour and honey and oil, and you were exceedingly beautiful, and became fit for royalty. And your name went out among the nations because of your loveliness, for it was perfect. By my splendor, which I had put on you, declares the Master Yahweh. But you trusted in your own loveliness, and whored because of your name, and poured out your whorings on everyone passing by who would have it. And you took some of your garments and made multicolored high places for yourself and whored on them, which should not have come about, nor shall it be. And you took your splendid adornments of my gold and my silver that I gave you and made for yourself images of a male and whored with them. And you took your embroidered garments and covered them, and you set my oil and my incense before them, and my food which I gave you, fine flour and oil and honey which I fed you, you set it before them as sweet incense. And so it was, declared the Master Yahweh. And you took your sons and your daughters, whom you bore to me, and these you slaughtered as food to them. Were your whorings a small matter, that you have slain my children and gave them up to them by causing them to pass through the fire? And in all your abominations and whorings, you did not remember the days of your youth, when you were naked and bare, trampled down in your blood. Then it came to be after all your evil, woe to you, declares the Master Yahweh, that you also built an arched place for yourself and made a high place in every street for yourself. You built your high places at the head of every way and made your loveliness to be loathed, and you parted your feet to everyone who passed by and increased your whorings. And you whored with the sons of Mitzrayim, your neighbors, great of flesh, and you increased your whorings to provoke me. And see, I have stretched out my hand against you, and withdrew what is lawfully yours, and gave you up to the desire of those who hate you, the daughters of the Philistines, who are ashamed of your wicked way. and you whored with the sons of Ashur without being satisfied. And you whored with them, and still were not satisfied. And you increased your whorings as far as the land of traders, Kasdima, and even then you were not satisfied. How weak is your heart, declares the Master Yahweh, seeing you do all this, the deeds of a shameless whore. Oh, excuse me. Wow. You built your arched place at the head of every way, and built your high place in every street. Yet you were unlike a whore. You scorned a harlot fee. The wife who commits adultery, who takes strangers instead of her husband. To all whores they give gifts, but you gave gifts to all your lovers and bribed them to come to you from all around in your whorings. Thus you are different from other women in your whorings, because no one whores after you. And in you giving a harlot fee, while a harlot fee was not given to you, thus you are different. Therefore, O whore, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus said the Master Yahweh, because your copper was poured out, and your nakedness uncovered in your whorings, with your lovers, and with the idols of your abominations. And because of the blood of your children while you gave to them, which you gave to them, therefore see, I am gathering all your lovers with whom you took pleasure, all those you loved, with all those you hated, and I shall gather them from all around against you, and shall uncover your nakedness to them. And they shall see all your nakedness, and I shall judge you with judgments of adulteress, and shedders of blood. And I shall bring on you the blood of wrath and jealousy, and I shall give you into their hand, and they shall throw your arched place down, and they shall break down your high places, and they shall strip you of your garments, and they shall take your splendid adornments, and leave you naked and bare. And they shall bring up an assembly against you, and they shall stone you with stones, and thrust you through with their swords, and burn your houses with fire, and execute judgments on you before the eyes of many women. And I shall make you stop whoring, and no longer give harlot fees. So I shall bring my wrath to rest upon you, and my jealousy shall turn away from you, and I shall be calm, and no longer be vexed. Excuse me. Because you did not remember the days of your youth, but troubled me with all of this. So see, I shall also bring your way on your own head, declares the Master Yahweh, and I shall not do this thought for all your abominations. See, all who use proverbs shall use this proverb against you. Like mother, like daughter. You are your mother's daughter, who despises her husband and her children, and you are the sister of your sisters, who despise their husbands and their children. Your mother was a Hittite, and your father an Amorite, and your elder sister is Shomerone, she and her daughters, who is dwelling to the north of you, and your younger sister, who is dwelling to the south of you, is Sodom and her daughters. And have you not walked in their ways, and did according to their abominations? But in all your ways you soon became more corrupt than they. As I live, declares the Master Yahweh, neither your sister Sodom nor her daughters have done as you and your daughters have done. See, this was the crookedness of your sister Sodom. She and her daughter had pride, sufficiency of bread, and unconcerned ease, and she did not help the poor and needy. And they were haughty, and did abomination before me, and I took them away when I saw it. And Shomerone did not commit half your sins, but you have increased your abominations more than they. And by all the abominations which you have done, you made your sisters seem righteous. You also, who pleaded for your sisters, bear your own shame, because the sins which you committed were more abominable than theirs. They are more righteous than you. So be ashamed too, and bear your own shame, because you have made your sisters seem righteous. And I shall turn back their captivity, and the captivity of Sodom and her sisters, and the captivity of Shomeron and her daughters. And I shall turn back the captivity of the verse 53, and I shall turn back their captivity, the captivity of Sodom and her daughters, and the captivity of Shomeron and her daughters, and the captivity of your captives with them, so that you bear your shame and shall blush for all that you did when you comforted them. And your sisters, Sodom and her daughters, return to their former state, and Shomeron and her daughters return to their former state, and you and your daughters return to your former state. Excuse me. Was not your sister Sodom a byword in your mouth in the days of your pride, before your evil was exposed at the time of the reproach of the daughters of Aram, and all who were around her, of the daughters of the Philistines, who are despising you everywhere? You shall bear your wickedness and your abominations, declares Yahweh. For thus said the Master Yahweh, I shall deal with you as you have done, in that you have despised the oath by breaking the covenant. But I shall remember my covenant with you in the days of your youth, and I shall establish an everlasting covenant with you, and you shall remember your ways and be ashamed when you receive your older and your younger sisters, and I shall give them to you for daughters, though not by your own covenant. And I myself shall establish my covenant with you, and you shall know that I am Yahweh, so that you remember, and you shall be ashamed, and never open your mouth any more because of your shame, when I pardon you for all you have done, declares the Master Yahweh. 17. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, put forth a riddle, and speak a parable to the house of Israel. And you shall say thus, said the Master Yahweh, the great eagle with large wings of long pinions, covered with feathers of various colors, came to Lebanon and took the top of the cedar. He plucked off the topmost of its young twigs and brought it to a land of traders. In a city of merchants he placed it. He also took some of the seed of the land and planted it in a field for seed. He took it by many waters, set it like a willow tree. So it grew and became a low, spreading vine. Its branches turned toward him, and its roots were under it. And it became a vine, and brought forth branches, and sent out shoots. And there was another great eagle with large wings and many feathers. And see, this vine bent its roots towards him, and stretched its branches towards him, to water it away from the beds where it was planted. It was planted in a good field by many waters, to bring forth branches and to bear fruit, to be a splendid vine. Say thus, said the Master Yahweh, is it going to thrive? Is he not going to pull up its roots and cut off its fruit and let it wither? All of its sprouting leaves wither without great power or many people to pluck it up by its roots. See, if it is planted, is it going to thrive? Would it not utterly wither when the east wind touches it? Wither to the beds where it grows? And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, please say to the rebellious house, do you not know what these mean? Say Jerusalem and I lost my spot. Please say to the rebellious house. Whoa. See, it is planted. Is it going to thrive? Would it not utterly wither when the east wind touches it? Wither in the beds where it grows? And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Please say to the rebellious house, Do you not know what these mean? Say, See, the sovereign of Babel went to Jerusalem, and took its sovereign and heads, and brought them with him to Babel. And he took one of the royal seed, and made a covenant with him, and put him under oath. And he took away the mighty of the land, so that the rain would be brought low, and not lift itself up, but guard his covenant, that it might stand. But he rebelled against him by sending his messengers to Mitzrayim to give him horses and many people. Shall he thrive? Shall he escape who is doing these? And shall he break a covenant and still escape? As I live, declares the Master Yahweh, in the place where the sovereign dwells, who set him up to reign, whose oath he despised and whose covenant he broke, with him in the midst of Babel, he shall die. And Pharaoh with his great army and great company is not going to help him in battle, when they heap up a siege mound and build a wall to cut off many beings. And he despised the oath by breaking the covenant. And see, he has given his hand, and he has done all this. He is not going to escape. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahweh, as I live, my oath which he has despised and my covenant which he has broken shall not put it on his own head. Shall I not put it on his own head? And I shall spread my net over him, and he shall be taken in my snare, and I shall bring him to Babel and enter into judgment with him there for the trespass which he committed against me. And all his fugitives with all his bands fall by the sword, and those who are left be scattered to every wind. And you shall know that I, Yahweh, have spoken. Thus said the Master Yahweh, and I shall take of the top of the highest cedar, and set it out, and I myself shall pluck off a tender one from the topmost of its young twigs, and plant it on a high and lofty mountain. On the mountain height of Israel I plant it, and it shall bring forth branches and bear fruit, and become a big cedar, and under it shall dwell birds of every wing. In the shadow of its branches they shall dwell. And all the trees of the field shall know that I, Yahweh, have brought down the high tree, and exalted the low tree, dried up the green tree, and made the dry tree flourish. I, Yahweh, have spoken and shall do it. Oh. It was a lot. 18. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, What do you mean when you use this proverb concerning the land of Israel, saying, The fathers have eaten sour grapes, and the children's teeth are blunted? As I live, declares the Master Yahweh, you shall no longer use this proverb in Israel. See, all beings are mine. The being of the Father, as well as the being of the Son, is mine. The being that is sinning shall die. But if a man is righteous and shall do right ruling in righteousness, if he has not eaten on the mountain, nor lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel, nor defiled his neighbor's wife, nor comes near a woman during her uncleanness, if he does not oppress anyone, does return to the debtor his pledge, does not commit robbery, does give his bread to the hungry, and covers the naked with a garment, if he does not lend on interest or take increase, turns back his hand from unrighteousness, executes right ruling in truth between man and man, if he walks in my laws and he has guarded my right rulings in truth, he is righteous. He shall certainly live, declares the Master Yahweh. But if he has brought forth a son who is a robber or a shedder of blood, who does any of these, whereas he himself did not do any of these, that also he has eaten on the mountains or defiled his neighbor's wife, if he has oppressed the poor and needy, has committed robbery, he does not return a pledge, has lifted his eyes to idols, or did abominations, If he has lent on interest or taken increase, shall he live? He shall not live. If he has done any of these abominations, he shall certainly die. His blood is upon him. But see, if he has brought forth a son who sees all the sins which his father has done, but he fears and does not do likewise, has not eaten on the mountains, and has not lifted his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel, has not defiled his neighbor's wife, has not oppressed anyone, nor withdrawn a pledge, nor committed robbery, has given his bread to the hungry, and covered the nakedness with a garment, turns back his hand from the wronging the poor, and he has not taken interest or increase, has executed my right rulings and walked in my laws, he shall not die for the crookedness of his father. He shall certainly live. His father, because he used oppression, robbed his brother, and did what is not good among his people. See, he shall die for his crookedness. And you said, why should the son not bear the crookedness of the father? But the son has done right ruling and righteousness. He has guarded all my laws, and he does them. He shall certainly live. The being who sins shall die. The son shall not bear the crookedness of the father, nor the father bear the crookedness of the son. The righteousness of the righteous is upon himself, and the wrongness of the wrong is upon himself. But the wrong, if he turns from all his sins, which he has done, and he shall guard all my laws, and shall do right rulings and righteousness, he shall certainly live. He shall not die. All the transgressions which he has done shall not be remembered against him. In his righteousness that he has done, he shall live. Have I any pleasure in the death of the wrong, declares the Master Yahweh? Is it not that he should turn from his ways and live? But when a righteous one turns away from his righteousness and does unrighteousness according to all the abominations that the wrong one has done, shall he live? All his righteousness which he has done shall not be remembered, for his trespass which he has committed, and for his sin which he has committed. For them he shall die. And you said, the way of Yahweh is not right. Hear now, O house of Israel, is my way not right? Is it not your ways that are not right? When a righteous one turns away from his righteousness and does unrighteousness, and he dies in it, it is because of his unrighteousness, which he has done, that he dies. And when the wrong turns away from the wrong, which he has done, and he keeps right ruling and righteousness, he keeps himself alive, because he sees and turns away from all the transgressions which he has done. He shall certainly live. He shall not die. And the house of Israel have said, the way of Yahweh is not right. Are my ways not right, O house of Israel? Is it not your ways that are not right? Therefore I judge you, O house of Israel, everyone according to his ways, declares the Master Yahweh. Repent and turn back from all your transgressions, and let not crookedness be a stumbling block to you. Cast away from you all the transgressions by which you have transgressed, and make for yourselves a new heart and a new spirit. For why should you die, O house of Israel? For I have no pleasure in the death of one who dies, declares the Master Yahweh. So turn back and live. Chapter 19. And take up a lamentation for the leaders of Israel, and you shall say, what a lioness was your mother among the lions. She lay down among the lions, in the midst of the young lions. She reared her cubs, and she brought up one of her cubs, and he became a young lion. And he learned to tear the prey. He devoured men. Then nations heard of him. He was caught in their pit, and they brought him with chains to the land of Mitzrayim. When she saw As she waited that her expectancy was lost, she took another of her cubs and made him a young lion. And he went about among the lions and became a young lion. And he learned to tear the prey. He devoured men, and he knew their widows, and laid waste their cities. And the land and all who filled it was stunned by the noise of his roaring. Then nations set against him from the province on every side, and spread their net over him, and he was caught in their pit. And they put him in a cage, in chains, and brought him to the sovereign of Babel. They brought him in nets, so his roar was no longer heard on the mountains of Israel. Your mother was like a vine in your vineyard, planted by the waters, a bearer of fruit and branching because of many waters. And she had strong rods for scepters of rulers. And her stature was exalted among the thick branches, and was seen in her height with the mass of its branches. But she was uprooted in wrath. She was cast down to the ground, and the east wind dried her fruit. Her strong rods were broken and withered. Fire consumed them, and now she is planted in the wilderness, in a dry and thirsty land. And fire went out from a rod of her branches. It devoured her fruit, so that she has no strong rod, a scepter to rule. This is a lament, and it shall be a lament. Chapter 20. And it came to be in the 7th year, in the 5th month, on the 10th of the new moon, that certain of the elders of Israel came to inquire of Yahweh, and sat before me. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, speak to the elders of Israel, and say to them, Thus said the Master Yahweh, you have come to inquire of me. As I live, I am not being inquired of by you, declares the Master Yahweh. Judge them, son of man, judge them. Make known to them the abominations of their fathers. And you shall say to them, Thus said the Master Yahweh, on the day when I choose Israel, and when I chose Israel and lifted my hand in an oath to the seed of the house of Jacob, and made myself known to them in the land of Mitzrayim, I lifted my hand in an oath to them, saying, I am Yahweh your Elohim. On that day, I lifted my hand in an oath to them, to bring them out of the land of Mitzrayim into a land that I had searched out for them, flowing with milk and honey, the splendor of all the lands. And I said to them, each one of you throw away the abominations which are before his eyes, and do not defile yourselves with the idols of Mitzrayim. I am Yahweh your Elohim. But they rebelled against me, and would not obey me. All of them did not throw away the abominations which were before their eyes, nor did they forsake the idols of Mitzrayim. So I resolved to pour out my wrath on them, to complete my displeasure against them in the midst of the land of Mitzrayim. But I acted for my name's sake, that it should not be profaned before the eyes of the nations among whom they were, before whose eyes I had made myself known to them, to bring them out of the land of Mitzrayim. So I took them out of the land of Mitzrayim, and I brought them into the wilderness, and I gave them my laws, and showed them my right rulings, which if a man does, he shall live by them. And I also gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between them and me, to know that I am Yahweh who sets them apart. But the house of Israel rebelled against me in the wilderness. They did not walk in my laws, and they rejected my right rulings, which if a man does, he shall live by them. And they greatly profaned my Sabbaths. Then I said I would pour out my wrath on them in the wilderness to consume them. But I acted for my name's sake, not to profane it before the nations, before whose eyes I had brought them out. And I myself also lifted my hand in an oath to them in the wilderness. not to bring them into the land which I had given them, flowing with milk and honey, the splendor of all the lands, because they rejected my right rulings and did not walk in my laws, and they profaned my Sabbaths, for their heart went after their idols. And my eye pardoned them from destroying them, and I did not make an end of them in the wilderness. And I said to their children in the wilderness, do not walk in the laws of your fathers, nor observe their rulings, nor defile yourself with their idols. I am Yahweh your Elohim. Walk in my laws, and guard my right rulings, and do them, and set apart my Sabbaths, and they shall be a sign between me and you to know that I am Yahweh your Elohim. But the children rebelled against me. They did not walk in my laws and my right rulings. They did not guard to do them, which if a man does, he shall live by them. They profaned my Sabbath, so I resolved to pour out my wrath on them, to complete my displeasure against them in the wilderness. But I held back my hand and acted for my name's sake, not to profane it before the eyes of the nations, before whose eyes I had brought them out. Also I myself lifted my hand in an oath to those in the wilderness to scatter them among the nations and disperse them throughout the lands, because they had not done my right rulings, and they rejected my laws, and they profaned my Sabbaths, and their eyes were on their fathers' idols. And I also gave them up to laws that were not good, and right rulings by which they would not live. And I defiled them by their own gifts as they passed all their firstborn through the fire, so that I might stun them, so that they know that I am Yahweh. Therefore, Son of Man, speak to the house of Israel, and you shall say to them, thus said the Master Yahweh. In this your fathers have further reviled me by committing trespass against me. When I brought them into the land for which I lifted my hand in an oath to give them, and they saw all the high hills and all the thick trees, they slaughtered their slaughterings there, and provoked me with their offerings there. And they sent up their sweet fragrance there, and poured out their drink offerings there. And I said to them, what is this high place to which you go? So its name is called High Place to this day. Therefore, say to the house of Israel, thus said the Master Yahweh, are you defiling yourselves in the way of your fathers? And do you whore after their abominations? For when you lift up your gifts and make your sons pass through the fire, you defile yourselves with your idols, even to this day. And shall I be inquired of by you, O house of Israel? As I live, declares the Master Yahweh, I am not being inquired of by you. And what comes up in your spirit shall never be, when you say, let us be like the nations, like the tribes in other lands, serving wood and stone. As I live, declares the Master Yahweh, do not I, with a mighty hand, with an outstretched arm, and with wrath poured out rain over you? And I shall bring you out from the peoples and gather you out of the lands where you were scattered, with a mighty hand, and with an outstretched arm, and with wrath poured out. And I shall bring you into the wilderness of the peoples, and shall enter into judgment with you face to face there. As I entered into judgment with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Mitzrayim, so I shall enter into judgment with you, declares the Master Yahweh. And I shall make you pass under the rod, and shall bring you into the bond of the covenant, and purge the rebels from among you, and those who transgress against me. From the land where they sojourn I bring them out, but they shall not come into the land of Israel. And you shall know that I am Yahweh. As for you, O house of Israel, thus said the Master Yahweh, go serve each of you his idols. And afterwards, if you are not listening to me, but do not profane my set-apart name any more with your gifts and your idols. For on my set-apart mountain on the mountain height of Israel, declares the Master Yahweh. They're all the house of Israel. All of them in the land shall serve me. There I shall accept them, and there I shall require your offerings and the first fruits of your offerings, together with all your set-apart gifts. As a sweet fragrance I shall accept you when I bring you out from the peoples, and I shall gather you out of the lands where you have been scattered, and I shall be set apart in you before the nations. And you shall know that I am Yahweh when I bring you out, when I bring you into the land of Israel, into the land for which I lifted my hand in an oath to give to your fathers. And there you shall remember your ways and all your deeds with which you were defiled, and you shall loathe yourselves in your own sight because of all the evils that you did. And you shall know that I am Yahweh when I have dealt with you for my name's sake, not according to your evil ways, nor according to your corrupt deeds. O house of Israel, declares the Master Yahweh. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face toward the south, and drop word against the south, and prophesy against the forest land, the south. And you shall say to the forest of the south, Hear the word of Yahweh. Thus said the Master Yahweh, See, I am kindling a fire in you, and it shall devour every green tree and every dry tree in you. The blazing flame is not quenched, and it shall burn all faces from the south to the north. And all flesh shall see that I, Yahweh, have kindled it. It is not quenched. And I said, Master Yahweh, they are saying of me, is he not speaking parables? Awesome stuff. Good stuff. I don't want to stop, but I got to stop. Shalom.